Alright, guys, welcome to my predictions for the RLCS World Championship of this year, 2024, and it is starting today. So, if you're not watching RLCS Worlds or if you haven't been paying attention, which is fine, I'm telling you right now, it's happening today. I'm gonna be watching it. You should be watching it too. So these are just my predictions how it's gonna go. So before we begin doing anything, first things first, shout out to Cody for making this spreadsheet that I'm using, and Pyro blocks for graphics help. It says right there, RLCS spreadsheet version, followed by Gibbs. So if Gibbs supports this man Pyro, or I'm assuming he's a man, if Gibbs support this person, then I support Pyro. Okay, Gibbs is not gonna follow anyone malicious in any right. He's the best. So, man, Gibbs is a legend. I wonder how his children are doing now. Okay, anyway, so yeah, thank you to Cody and Pyroblocks for the spreadsheet. Now we're gonna move on to the actual ranking. So I want to give a little bit of a background into my experience with the Rocket League Championship Series or the Rocket League Pro scene in general. I've actually never ever been played in the pro scene or even been close. Is what I was trying to get at. So this not to make it sound like my experience playing with it. Nah, like sure I may have met some pro players at times during my Rocket League ranked matches, but I mean, who hasn't, bro? At some point, if you've played for long enough, you've probably met some pro players here and there, right? But or in a random small tournament. But obviously, I haven't actually played anywhere near at the pro level at all. So I'm talking about more of my experience watching Rocket League in a professional scene. So I've been playing Rocket League since the very beginning of the game. So not Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars, not that game. Specifically Rocket League, because I remember when it came out on PlayStation 4 for free for PS Plus at the time, and I was like, huh, well, look at this interesting game. It's about driving a car and trying to score with it. Okay, cool, let's try it. And I remember this we're talking 2015. You know, I was probably fresh off playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse at the time. Xenoverse came out that year, the first Xenoverse. You know, I was a little kid myself. I say that, but back then, I actually wasn't that much younger than some of the players on these teams, which is insane. Like most players playing on these teams were born in 2006 or later, which is wild to think about. All right, 2006 is insane, right? They were like 9 years old when the game came out, right? They haven't even hit double digit. They didn't even hit the double digits when Rocket League came out. Which is crazy to me, right? Uh, it's not like I was deep into the double digits either, but still, I had hit double digits when the Rocket League came out. I remember being a teenager when the game came out. So yeah, and I've been basically following the pro scene since the very beginning, right? In 2015, I remember when Kronovi was undoubtedly the best player in the world. His Twitch streams, anyone who was interested in seeing some of the best gameplay at the time would tune into the Kronovi stream. And even now, the Mountain, the man, the myth, the legend. Even now, like we look back and think he's a legend of the game, not just because he was the best player in the world at the time, for sure, but also because he continued being a pro player for so long, for so many years. When did he retire? Like 2020, like he retired late. He retired like, after 5 years of playing, which is not it's not super common for pro players to last that long, right? A lot of pro players have come in and retired after 3 years, right? 2, 3 years, 4 years maybe, and they retire. Either that, or they kind of just go into obscurity and play, or they become coaches for smaller teams, or they kind of play for smaller teams at some point, right? Like some of the OG players, like JNAPS is part of OG, right? So it's like I'm not saying GNAPS is bad, guys. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like bro went from being on G2 to being on OG, right? Like first seed of NA to fourth seed of NA. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like and then eventually they become coaches or they retire or something, right? Like this is not me throwing shit at JNF. Now this sounds bad. I really put JNF on blast here. I really did not mean to do that. I'm not saying that his pro career is over. That is not what I was trying to get at all. Um, but I'm saying is a lot of pro players don't last. This is not like football, like real life football, where a player can be a pro player, last as a pro player for 15, 20 years before they retire, right? Like you can have a pro football player last for 20 years and then they retire. Look at Messi and Ronaldo. I heard that this year is the first year since 2003 that neither of them will be nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Do you guys realize how crazy that is? They've been dominating football for 21 years now, and yeah, their era's over, man. Like they're becoming old men. They're boomers now, right? Like the new peeps are taking over, right? The Hollands are taking over. The Mbappes are taking over. Their time is gone, right? They've become old, relatively old men for the professional uh, football scene. But for Rocket League, professional player does not last that long, right? This is, no pro Rocket League player back in 2015 is still a pro Rocket League player now. Just to put it simply, right? In fact, a lot of the pro Rocket League players right now start playing the game way after I started playing the game. Again, I've been playing the game since 2015. I didn't grind the game like that, so I never became a pro. Obviously, right? I still had some self control on that front. Uh, but yeah. And then I remember when Coxer as well was considered the best player in the world in 2016. It was a big like battle between. That's where like the original battle between EU and NA started for me. Like the Coxer versus Kronovi battle, because Cox came in and was like, "Yo, he's the best player in the world, right?" And so people were like, "Okay, but it's Kronovi exists." And then that was when the original like rift happened, right? And there were days where or tournaments where I'm like, "Yo, Cox is the best player in the world." And there were times where I was watching, I'm like, "Nah, Kronovi's the best player in the world." It was really tough to say. But at the very beginning of the game, when the game came out 2015, Kronovi was the best player in the world. And then I remember RLCS in one happened. Now some um some tournaments, some pro tournaments did happen before RLCS, but I feel like RLCS was the first. Like well, that was like like I used to watch those previous tournaments too, but RLCS was like the first one that like I remember sitting down and watching all of it for the LAN complete. That was the first LAN as well. Like it was an international event. Like it was LAN. All the best teams from NA, the best teams from EU, and yeah, man, I remember G2, in fact. Yes, that's right. You heard me right. G2 was there at the time. They were iBuyPower. If y'all were there at the time. G2 versus Flipside Tactics. That was the name of the game at the time, right? It was like who's gonna take it? Because they were the two best teams in the world, right? Now you did have like a little Northern Gaming in there, right? Northern Gaming was also made it to the semifinals, and a lot of people were shouting out Northern Gaming, and I also, Northern Gaming was hyped there, but they obviously, to me, it was between G2 and Flipside Tactics, and that makes sense because they both made the finals. And G2, or Power Tactics, I should say, as they were called at the time, that was the original G2. Gambit, Kronovi, and Lachinio. Oh, I miss Lachinio, man. He was inspirational, man. I still think about Lachinio today, man. Lachinio, bro, he was also in contention for being the best Rocket League player in the world at the time. Like he was insane. He was crack. People are also like hyping up Gambit. Gambit was such a great player. And then aside from set tactics, you had Coxer, we just talked about him, Coxer 97, the Italian man, with Marky Duda, Marky Duda, and Mike Rules. Mike Rules, I recently did not too long ago, did a video with where I played with him and against him in ranked. So I met Mike Rules. That's like one of the old players I used to watch. Like, yeah, I remember when he was in RLCS Season 1, I remember. But Gambit couldn't make it to RLCS Worlds for whatever reason to the international event. So they subbed in Overzero, who was their substitute at the time, right? So Overzero came in and he played amazingly, right? He played so good. He was dunking. I remember that air dribble dunk is an iconic goal that will never be forgotten in Rocket League ever, right? Just like the Justin 0 second goal, that's more iconic. But the Overzero goal in RLCS Season 1 was so iconic, bro. I'm never gonna forget the way he air dribbled, dunked it past the Flipside Tactics defense. So that was hella hype, and iBuyPower won that LAN, right? G2, right? North America took took the first LAN major ever. RLCS in one, they took the crown, and that was the start of RLCS, right? And to me, it was like the big start of the Rocket League Pro scene. Now, in the coming seasons, EU would dominate, and it would surprisingly take a while before NA caught back up again. And even till now, people aren't fully convinced that NA caught up fully, but I think they basically have at this point. Even though, in my opinion, EU does have better teams. If you just look at the top four NA teams and top four EU teams in this tournament right now, the top four EU teams, if you ask me, they are better than the top four NA teams, right? But like it's not like it used to be. I feel like it used to be EU all the way, right? Teams would get trashed on so much. Other than again G2, G2's like the only team that like was in that contention. So G2's always been like a top tier, organization for Rocket League, and that was the original G2 team, right? It was Kronovi, Gambit, and Lachinio, which then it was OverZero took over for Gambit. And then a bunch of changes happened, right? Y'all remember the Kronovi, JNAPS, and the Rizzo squad. That was a big squad. Now JNAPS playing for OG. Rizzo's retired, Kronovi's retired, but JNAP's still going. And then Chicago took over as well. Um, and then Kronovi retired and all. So, and then Flipside Tactics was kind of just, you know, eventually they also kind of swindled away. Right? Marky Duda wasn't, was he stopped being a pro? Coxer 97 actually, I don't think he ever officially announced his retirement. But I'm pretty sure he's as good as retired at this point. But even like a couple of years ago, people were not fully convinced Coxer 97 was retired. But that's such a Coxer thing to do, to just retire sadly, to just not be like super public about it, especially when nobody's really talking about him anymore, right? Like people aren't talking about Coxer 97 nowadays, so he could just retire without actually making an official retirement post. Whereas every other pro has made basically an official retirement post, right? Kurovi retiring was a legendary day in the World of Rocket League. Toshi 90 when he retired, if y'all remember Toshi 90, when he retired, that was a big deal, right? Um, so like people are genuinely crazy. Lachinio retiring was a big deal. What does Lachinio do nowadays? Because even after he retired, I remember him still being a Twitch streamer and reacting to Rocket League LAN events. So I wonder if he's still doing that. But Lachinio retiring was a big deal. Lachinio was in the original G2 team, right? That won the first RLCS. So what I'm trying to get at is, I was watching the pro Rocket League scene for a while. I didn't just watch all CS lands, but those were the ones I watched fully. I did watch some of the other lands. DreamHack lands were very, very big at the time. I think there was some other land, I don't remember, where Garrett G won. I remember it was a big deal. Like, let's go, Garrett G won a land. And Garrett G did end up winning RLCS as well eventually, so that was amazing. Garrett G is another, in my opinion, go to player. If I had to make like an all-time list, oh man, all-time Rocket League player list would be sick. But I don't feel like I have the full picture, and I'll get into that in a second. Why I can't give my personal opinion fully, but I do think Gerchi Turbo Pulse has got to be up there. He's won RLCS 4 times. Yeah, he's won the finals 4 times, the line 4 times. He's cracked. He pulled something amazing. I think K-Dop has got to be up there as well. Turbo Pulse and K-Dop. I mean, Dignitas were the clear best team in the world for a solid year and a half or something. For more than a year. Like, it was like no other team could compete against them. They just kept winning and winning and winning. They kept winning. People were just annoyed at that point. I feel like even Dignitas fans got annoyed by like, this is getting boring. Y'all just winning every time. At least make it intense. That was hard. They were dominant. Okay, that Valpanda Kid up to Repulsor roster was dominant. Our season 5 was so sick though. That was such a sick season. If NRG had won, that would be big. With Justin on the team, man. But anyway, so what I'm gonna get into now is COVID happened eventually, right? So a combination of COVID and as well as me going to university to study, and also my last year of high school and then going to university to study, and that switch kind of made me fall off a little bit on both playing Rocket League, but also on paying attention to the pro scene. I was kind of connected. I didn't pay attention to it anymore. So a lot of the players on these teams were players I'd never heard before. When I got back into it last year, I started watching RLCS again. I'm like, oh, wait, the COVID's not impacting the LAN event anymore, right? I can watch RLCS LAN again, right? Yay! So admittedly, I did not watch the live at least. I didn't watch the live finals for RLCS 2021-2022. That was when the BDS won. That was the Monkey Moon Seiku team. I don't remember who the third was. I didn't watch that, but I heard about them winning. I was like, oh, that's cool. I probably should have paid attention to it. And so then 2022, 2023 came about, and I decided to pay attention to RLCS again. So I watched the RLCS LAN. I didn't watch every single line in between, but I did watch the RLCS LAN specifically, and I watched that all the way through. And I remember Vitality winning, and that sparked my joy for watching the Rock League Pro scene. And I'm like, let's go, let's go! I'm so hyped. I was very excited to see, Zen, this new master player, best player in the world. I was like, I never heard of him before, but it was exciting. Alpha 54 I knew from beforehand, but Rodosian was also a new name for me. But Alpha 54 I knew um, before COVID. So yeah, I'm now back in the back in the pro scene, back to paying attention. Not a full analyst, haven't been fully like keeping track of literally everything that's been going on, but I've been keeping track. I watched the first major, I watched the second major, especially the second major and EWC, which happened relatively recently, about a month ago. I paid a lot of attention to those. So whether I'm qualified to give my predictions on this or not, you can have your opinion on that. But I do have some takes. I do have my opinions about how I think this tournament's gonna go or how it's not gonna go. Um, so yeah. Um, do we just get into the rankings now? So all of the players on these teams I'd never heard of before COVID, but I've gotten accustomed to them now, watching them for the last year and a bit. So I've got accustomed to them, I've gotten to know them, and some players I knew from beforehand, right? Like, I've gotten accustomed to Zen at this point because it's been a year since I've seen him. But after watching him in the Worlds, being the MVP of the previous World Championship and Vitality winning, that was a big deal. So, and I've been watching, like I said. So, yeah, let's get into it. G2, uh, I'd never heard of any of the players on this roster from before COVID, right? So these are all new players to me, right? Limitless, I mean, yeah, whatever. Gentlemates, also all new players. Falcons, also all new players, other than Ross. Ross had heard about here and there sometimes. But, so a lot of these top teams, I'd never heard about them before COVID. But some of them I had, like Monkey Moon and stuff. And Alpha 54 and JNAPS. So okay, we can get into the rankings. Sorry for the yap. That was mostly just an introduction to my experience with the pro scene because I've never actually done like a pro scene video on my channel. I've done a Rocket videos, but I've never actually talked about the pro scene. But I just want to show you guys a little bit that I am an OG of the pro scene. Other than again the 2020 to 2022 period, that's a blank period of my pro scene attention. That's a blank period. It's like the void century, if you get that reference. So that's a void century in my period, which is why I don't feel like I can properly give a top 5 greatest players of all time list, because that's gonna be heavily skewed towards the players I remember when I was watching RLCS very heavily. So I'm here thinking like, all right. Gary G's gonna be up there, and then you have Terrapulse and K-Dub's gonna be up there in the top 5 players of all time, right? Because I haven't been paying attention since COVID. But also, Lance didn't happen in COVID either. Only in 2021, in 2022. So 2022 was like the first LAN that really happened, right? After COVID. So, and Monkey Moon and Seiko won that one, which is why I hear a lot of people saying Monkey Moon might just be one of the best players of all time. And that's why, okay, well, I heard about Monkey Moon before COVID, but I didn't realize he was popping up that much post COVID, right? I've been paying attention to that. So that's why I can't really comment on Monkey Moon all that much. However, his team BDS did just win. They did just win the WC major. So yeah, if they win this championship as well, which BDS certainly has a chance to do, because they just win an international major, they have a chance to do it. Certainly, it sounds to me like I'm open for a discussion of Monkey being one of the best players of all time in Rocket League. But also, you cannot deny Terraposa getting 4 RLCS victories. That's huge. K-Dub also one of the best players of all time, if you ask me. I feel like those two plus Gary G, they have to be mentioned, man. Coxer, in my opinion, is still in the top 10. You could argue maybe not top 5, but definitely top 10, man. Coxer is what he did for Rocket League, I think, was huge, man. So okay, we can get to the predictions now. I'm gonna maybe I'll make a timestamp in the description in the comment section of like, now I'm gonna stop the prediction, and the predictions start now. So these first matches, we don't have to take them seriously. We know how it's gonna go. It's gonna be a 3-0 for G2, right? I mean, like, we're starting off the prediction early like this. I mean, I don't think like Limitless. They are. I mean, like, can have to be honest, right? They are one of the least favorite teams coming into this, right? Like they're not they you know I, I'll be happy for Limitless if they take one game off any team here, right? If they can take one game off, that's what I mean. Like, win one game. You don't even have to win a series. Win one game. Come on, Limitless. They come from the sub-Saharan African region, so that's the African team coming into this, and Gaming Gladiators is then the Asia Pacific team coming into this, whereas the other ones are either OC or actually South America, right? Furia and not the Pioneers. What's their name again? I can't think. I can't speak. Team Secret. Sorry. So Fury and Team Secret are the South American representatives here, and then you have Power and the Pioneers representing OCE, Limitless for Africa, and not Gladiators. Yes, Gladiators for Asia Pacific. So very exciting. The rest are either E or NA or Middle East, I guess, with Falcons. I'm not. I guess that's actually a big deal that I mentioned Middle East here. So yeah, I guess before we fully get into it as well, Oxygen has taken over for the second team supposed to coming from the Middle East region, because the Middle East has two teams that can come in. But because I think they're called Anything, the second seed in Middle East, they couldn't come in. So Oxygen, even though they weren't prepared to be joining this LAN, all of a sudden they're joining up the LAN, and they had given up on the season. They were like, all right, well, stop grinding. But all of a sudden, Anything is dropping, forfeited the LAN, so Oxygen got a spot. So we have 5 EU teams now, and that's kind of a big deal. But yeah, Oxygen got that extra spot. Okay, next we have Gentlemates and Pioneers. It's gotta be another 3-0 for me, man. It's gotta be another 3-0. I don't see any upsets happening early on in this tournament. I really don't. I think it's gonna be dominant performance from G2 and Gentlemates, right? They're both teams that could take it all this tournament, right? So, and they are, to be fair, these two teams, they are the teams that have won the first and second majors respectively. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them wins this time around. Falcons and Gladiators. I'm sorry, Gladiators, but Falcons look so dominating until the grand finals when they choke. But before the grand finals, they are the best team in the world apparently, because they never lose. I see a 3-0 happening there too. Fury OG. All right, this is the first matchup that probably isn't going to be a straight up 3-0. Furia, great team. Yan, I've been, like I said, I've been paying attention to RLCS now, and Yan has really, really impressed me. He's a fantastic player. Yeah, bro, he's cracked. He sets up goals so well. Um, and then we have OG, the fourth seed from NA. I have not been that impressed with this team. I actually reckon Fury wins this. The question is like, do they win? I reckon it's not a straight 3-0 though. I reckon OG can take one game. Nah, 2 games. Let's make it exciting. Let's make it a best of 5. We've had 3 sweeps in a row. People are like, it's gonna be another sweep. Nah. Fury takes 2 games. Then OG comes back and takes 2 games, and then Fury takes the last game to win in the game 5. That'll be exciting, right? Just to give OG a little bit of something, you know what I mean. Let's not disrespect OG completely here, all right? Next we have BDS and Team Auction. That's an interesting series. BDS, I think they've just come off the high. You know what? The fact that BDS has just come off a high of winning the previous LAN, I think they had them winning, and also the fact that Oxygen, from what I hear, they actually stopped like grinding, or because they thought the chances of the season was over, so they had to pick up their controllers again when they were called in for this LAN. So, but I'm not too confident in them taking any game off of the reigning champs in the from the EWC major. So yeah, speaking of reigning champs, the reigning world champs, Vitality, going against Team Secret, the number two seed from South America. I reckon Vitality takes this. I think that's a pretty confident take. It's more of a question of of can Secret take a game off. Team Secret is not trash, you know. Like they are an okay team from what I've seen. Again, I haven't been full, but I haven't paying that much attention to some of the lower seeded teams, some of the lower placed teams. So I'm not 100% like confident there. But I want to give it to Team Vitality. But I reckon Team Secret takes the game off. I reckon Team Secret takes the game off. I don't think it's gonna be that dominating of a victory for Team Vitality. Next with Genji vs Power. Now this could be a fun series. Uh, Genji and Power. Who, well, oh man. Hmm. Power has been looking like a solid team, man. The only the only thing about Power is I haven't been very impressed with I haven't been impressed at all with Torsos. Fever and Banana Head are great. I have not been impressed with Torsos. I remember Torsos from the old days. Bro's been playing RLCS since freaking season 2 or whatever. But I've not been impressed with him. I've seen him do a lot of misplays. So, but Fever and Banana Head have been looking pretty good, I think. I reckon Genji takes this, but I reckon Power's a great team. I think they take 2 games off. I think it's gonna be another Fever OG situation. I think Power got it like that. I think they take 2 games off and this goes to game 5. But who knows, man? Um, SSG and Carmine Corp. Now Carmine Corp is a team we're gonna talk about. Because Carmine Corp are, I think they're the most volatile team in this tournament in the sense that I feel like it is so hard to predict them. It is so hard to know how they're going to be playing this tournament. I truly don't know. They could come in and be absolute. Oh, they could be coming and be the best team in the world, and they could come in and be iffy. Because the thing with Carmine Corp, you have to remember, they didn't even make the second major because they lost at regionals in their three shocking upsets somehow, and then and that was a big deal. That was huge news. People were like talking about what's going on. Is it the format's fault? Is it Carmine Corp? What's going on? Like the format. How is Carmine Corp not in the major, right? Even though they might be the best team in the world, but I mean, the format does allow for a lot of volatility, but also Carmine Corp did play very poor that specific weekend. So there's just both sides of that going. And then to add to that, they were not invited to EWC, or they were not part. They did not take part in EWC. So we haven't seen Carmine Corp in a while. So much that like I haven't forgotten them, but like I don't like I remember them being like one of the best, like one of the best team in the world, like basically. But like, man, man, it's hard to know because I haven't seen him play for so many months, like 4 months or something, five plus months. Yeah, over like 5 months we haven't seen this team play. And SSG is a solid team from NA. However, I believe in the Carmine Corp comeback. I've heard that they've been really good in scrims. I reckon SSG though LJ. Oh wait, we get the bracket going. Okay, I reckon LJ SSG take 2 games off. I reckon that's gonna be a close game. But I believe in the Carmine Corp rebound. I believe so. So 3-2 there. Now we have the upper bracket and lower bracket matchups here. The only upsets, at least seeding wise, are Carmine Corp beating Space Station Gaming. But everything else makes sense. It's either 3-0 or a 3-1 basically. I'm gonna get some 3-2s here next. I have some belief in Power and somehow I have some belief in OG, but okay. I think it's Swiss especially in the Swiss stage. I don't think we're gonna get too many upsets. I think we might get more upsets in the bracket stage, in the playoff stage. So yeah, these are the stats so far. Let's get into the next stage here. Let's start with the lower bracket for the people who lost. SSG and Limitless. SSG sometimes they lose games against teams that they really shouldn't be losing games to. But I reckon, but I have no faith in Limitless. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a 3-0. I think it's a 3-0, bro. I, I don't have faith in Limitless in taking a single game. But SSG do sometimes look bad against teams that they shouldn't be looking bad against, which is weird. But okay, we're gonna leave it at that. And then we have Power and Pioneers. Ooh, it's interesting. This is gonna be interesting. I reckon Power takes it, but it's more like okay, because they're both OCE teams, so they'll have played each other a lot. But nah, I reckon the number one seed takes it. But it's more like, but I think this might be a close series. You know, I reckon like, I reckon 3-1. Maybe not super like close series in game score differential. Like Power wins by one game every time. But I reckon Pioneers pulls off a good fight. Um, yeah, let's go with that. OG and Gladiators. Yeah, we got OG winning that. Uh, we'll give them a 3-1. I think that's solid. Team Secret versus Oxygen. I think this might be a tough series for Oxygen. You know, Oxygen is a great team. Team Secret. Hmm. Now I heard about the script. Sure, Oxygen may not have been fully prepared to be part of this slam, but like they're a good enough team to pretty comfortably take it. I think 3-1 is fair there in the lower bracket. I think Team Secret goes down to the 0-2 bracket. I don't think it's gonna go to game 5. Now the upper bracket, these were the hype matchups happen, right? So G2 versus Carmine Corp. Yo, this is so hype. We're already. Oh, we're gonna get so many good matchups. Holy crap! G2 versus Carmine Corp. That's a freaking that's a series. Oh, that's a series. Ooh, man. You know what? I believe. I believe in the Carmine. I believe in the Carmine. I think they take it in game 5. I I think it's gonna be an upset. I say upset, but it's like Comic Corporate is an impossible team to predict, but I have belief. I have belief in their comeback here. I think they're gonna do it. I think there's gonna be a massive upset. I think they're gonna take down G2. That sounds crazy, but I think so. Wow! I have belief in the Carmine Corp. This might sound like EU bias. I am EU, so like fair enough. But man, I don't know, man. And EU doesn't always. I feel like EU looks way better in the bracket stage than in Swiss stage. Like I still remember that series that they got swept by the Falcons in the previous major. They got swept by the Falcons Swiss stage before then winning against the Falcons in the grand final. So it's not like it mattered, or in the grand scheme of things. But it's still like I don't know. G2 can lose in the Swiss stage. I feel like I'll say it's gonna be an intense match, but Carmine Corp wins. I have faith in the Carmine Corp comeback, boys. Gentlemates Gen G. I believe Gentlemates typically have a good record against Gen G. Um, yeah, I'm giving this to Gentlemates. I think it's gonna be a comfortable win too. I think 3-1. I think Gentlemates generally have a good one against. We can't see Gen G here. Oh, there it is. Sorry if because my laptop sucks, so you guys can barely see what's going on. Yeah, I think Gelmates have had a good run against Gen G. I think typically Gelmates have tended to win this series. So unless Gen G can figure out good strat to take them down, I don't have full faith here. This looks like I'm a complete EU like biased here. I don't feel like Gelmates versus Gen G is that crazy of a take. I think Carmine Corp versus GT might be a crazier take. But I don't know. I have belief in that in this Carmine Corp team, man. And I've been seeing them play too, like before the second major. Like they might have been the best team in the world, right? So it's tough to say, man. Falcons and Furia, Swiss stage. This is not the grand finals. I reckon Falcons just wins this. I reckon Falcons win this convincingly too. I reckon 3-0. I reckon 3-0 Falcons. Nah, that might be a bit much for you. Nah, we'll give them one game. It is Furia. We will give them one game. Yeah, yeah. You know, we'll give them one game. We'll give him one game. Yan coming in, he's gonna get a one game in for Furia. But I think Falcons looks like such a good team right now. I'm gonna get into who I think the best teams in the world are later, but you'll probably see by the time we get to the bracket stage. So it'll bracket itself naturally. What I think. BDS versus Vitality. Vitality have looked poor recently, man. They're the reigning world champs, but they have looked poor recently. BDS, like I said, the hot streak coming in out of winning the recent major. They're looking good, man. But Vitality could slap back, bro. They're gonna come in this world's ready to go. And I want this to be an exciting series. I'm giving it to VDS, but I'm gonna say 3-2, bro. I think it's gonna be an exciting series. I think that's how it's gonna go. 3-2 BDS. I think it's gonna be a good series there. Man, these matchups are gonna be so hype. I mean, I reckon it's exactly not how it's gonna go, but I reckon these are the matchups that are gonna happen because I don't see although we might see SSG versus G2 rather than Carmichael versus G2. But other than that, this is exactly how it's gonna go, right? In the upper bracket. I don't see General Maze Falcons BDS. I don't see any of these other teams losing their series, right? So okay. Now that we have that decided, let's start with the lower bracket here. Let's first decide who's gonna get eliminated. I'll be honest, Limitless. You know, you take one game, Limitless. I'll give you one game. Yeah, I won't have you get eliminated with not a single game. One did even win a single game. You did not win a single game against G2. Well, I don't think you're gonna be able to. You did not win a single game against SSG, which you might actually be able to here because SSG, like I said, sometimes look rough against lower level teams from what I remember. But I'll give you one game against Secret. One game. Come on, Limitless. Show me what you got. I actually I do want all the regions to do well. I do want that African region to do well. But it's just the results in the past have just not shown it. I'm sorry, Limitless. I think Limitless coming into this uh, might just be I think it is the might just be the bottom team of the tournament. It sounds hella disrespectful, but it's just my opinion, my honesty, based on my observation of what I've seen. These what I've seen how about these games or how these games have gone. Gladiators versus Pioneers. Hmm. Mm, I reckon it's gonna be a close series, but I think Pioneers takes it. I'm giving them 3-2. I reckon Pioneers takes it 3-2. Gladiators, unfortunate game 5 loss to eliminate them from the tournament. But they get more. Yeah, they get more victors than Limitless. That's fair. So the Gladiators are going to be seated higher than Limitless at least, right? Because they get one more game. I reckon that's realistic. So now let's go to the middle bracket here. All the teams that have lost one match, one season, one series. G2 versus Oxygen. Oxygen 5th seed of EU against G2. I reckon G2 bounced back from that L against Carmine Corp. They're like, all right, here we go. I think they sweep the series. See that? So for all of you saying I'm NA bias, get out of here, all right? That's not NA bias, EU bias. Get out of here, all right? I've had them sweeping Auction, which is a solid team. Let's not disrespect Auction. That's a solid team right there. I don't think they're gonna win this land, but I do feel like they could definitely at least take this to game 5. I could 100% see that happening. So okay, it's interesting how the seeding doesn't automatically give me the next games until I finish this part of the seed. But okay, Vitality versus OG. I think OG takes one game, but I think Vitality wins this. I think Vitality takes that. Fury and Power. Hmm. Power's Power's been playing so good, man, in these lands. Man, I had them getting 3-2 by Genji. Hmm. I reckon Fury and Genji are also like comparative teams, right? I think they're comparative in like skill level. Um, mm-mm-mm. I'll give it to Fury, of course, but it's more of like how. I reckon power gives them a little bit of backlash. I'm gonna give it to them 3-1, like a little bit of backlash, like a little bit of like OG gives to Vitality, like a little bit of that. Vitality and Fury are also kind of comparable teams, if you ask me. And I'd also give Fury against OG 3-1. I think that's a fair result right there. Okay, Gen G versus Space Station Gaming. SSG, man, LJ is such a great player, bro. I feel like you got some teams where it's like, bro, this is such a great player. Like, if you just have better teammates or something, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you have SSG and LJ, and then you have Zanny Vitality. Just feels like they're so dominant compared to the teammates at times. But then you have teams where all three players look incredible, like Carmine Corp. Like all three players look freaking sick. Anyway, Gen G and SSG, I reckon SSG does. I think they typically. I don't remember how this series typically goes against these two, but I have Gen G winning in a close five game series. I reckon 3-2 Gen G. SSG take 2 games, but Gen G's too strong, right? First killer, Abstract Chronic, they go all the way there. I reckon. Now we should have this bracket prepared, but for some reason it's not prepared. Why not? Wait a minute. Right. No, wait. Yeah, this bracket should be prepared because we have every single team that's won once and lost twice. Because these are the teams that I've lost twice, and these are the teams that I've lost twice and won once. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go move on to the upper bracket. I guess we gotta finish every single bracket normally. So far, Gelmates and Falcons are looking like the best team. Okay, okay. Anyway, Gelmates against Carmine Corp. Bro, this series. Gelmates look so good in Lance. Carmine Corp do also perform well in Lance. Oh, that's a hard series to predict, man. Gelmates versus Carmine Corp. Gelmates look very poor in the recent EWC major. I do believe in the Carmine Corp hype though. I have belief in their hype. Right, whoever wins this just goes directly to the upper bracket. Gelmates Carmine Corp. How has this run gone so far? That Carmine Corp beating GT in a close series. Oh, Gelmates coming from beating Gen G. Pioneers, okay. Carmine Corp had a rough run to get here, right? They had to beat SSG, then G2, and now Gelmates. Can they do it? Do Carmine Corp have got it like that? But they also, it's been a while since we've seen them on lands. Can I really just see them upper bracket like that? Right? Because Gelmates have had an easier run getting here, quote unquote easy. I mean, Gen G is a tough team. But I mean, yeah, Gelmates beating Pioneers is certainly easier than beating SSG. And beating Gen G is certainly easier than beating G2, right? So, Karma Corp has a rough run, but Gelmates, man, if they look as good as they did in Major 2 and Major 1, oh, but Karma Corp is such a wild card. This is a 50-50 series. It's going to game 5 either way in my head. It's going to game 5 either way. This could be a freaking intense series. Oh, these are two of the best teams in the world, if you ask me, right now. It is so tough to call. I'm gonna give it to my Gelmates. I'm gonna give it to Gelmates 3-2, bro. That could go either way. It's impossible to predict, but I'm gonna give it to Gelmates game 5. Falcons BDS. Ooh, another tough series. Now, here's the thing. BDS did just beat Falcons in the recent Worlds. Not Worlds, International EWC tournament. They beat him, but it was in the grand finals, and the Falcons always shook in the grand finals. And BTS do look pretty rough at times during the Swiss stage, while Falcons always look amazing in the Swiss stage. They always just destroy everybody. I'm not gonna lie, this might sound crazy. Falcons 3-0. I said it. Falcons 3-0 BDS. I reckon BDS sometimes they don't look that good in the Swiss stage, man. I reckon the Falcons come in. with their fire, and them and Gelmates move up to the upper bracket. I reckon that's what's gonna happen. I reckon Falcons got it like that. And now we have this team seeded for well, Gelmates and Falcons have now moved up to the upper bracket, which we'll get into that later for the playoff stage, how that's gonna work. With the teams that are gonna end up being 3-1. But moving on to SSG versus Pioneers, I reckon we have another strong series here. Tough series for SSG, 3-2 against Pioneers. Pioneers' tournament ends here. They do get one victory with Gladiators. I don't think they're going to be too supporting going to Game 5 against an SSG team. I think. I think SSG, again, they do look rough against teams like Pioneers sometimes. You know, like a Team Secret of Power. They do look rough against these types of teams sometimes. That's why I don't have them just destroying this team and going 3-0. I reckon Pioneers does a good run here. Power versus Secret, this is going to be a great series. Holy crap. This is going to be a great series. Like, they might not be teams that I think can take it all, but they're both teams that I reckon, like, this is going to be a tough series as well. I got Power winning 3-2, and that will eliminate Secret, but it keeps the OCE chances alive because Pioneers are now gone. We have eliminated one South American team though, but the OCE stands alive so far, and South America still has Furia, which we'll see how things are gonna work out for them. Yeah, that's how I think it's gonna go. OG versus Oxygen, I reckon Oxygen takes this. Actually, I do think Oxygen, despite being the 5th seed in EU, is better than the 4th seed of NA. It's more about, like, it's gonna be. We've had 2 intense series in a row, 2 really close series here. I think OG, I think they've just gone. Every single OG series has gone 3-1. Like, look at 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, and 3-1 here too, right? No, 3-2 at the start against Furia. Okay. They lose against Furia with 2 games. But I think despite that, I think they're gonna go on another 3-1 losing spree. I think they're gonna lose another game. They're only gonna get 1 game. I think Austria's gonna look better. I think that's how that's gonna go. So yeah, that's OG out of the tournament. Oxygen stays alive. Okay. Which means we still have 5 EU teams, don't we? Damn. Ooh. Okay. So BDS versus Genji. What a freaking series! Now, if I remember correctly, in the I can't freaking speak. If I remember correctly, during EWC, that's what I was trying to say. During the EWC major, that just happened a month ago, less than a month ago. It happened like August, late August, like, yeah. So like run about like 2-3 weeks ago. If I remember correctly, in the bracket stage, in the playoff stage, BTS actually beat Genji, and they beat them like relatively comfortably too. So I reckon they do it again. I reckon BDS, yeah, they got swept by Falcons, but I reckon they come back. They can pull off against this Genji team, and I think it's gonna be 3-1. I think Genji does get a game off though. All right, Carmine Corp against Furia. I think Carmine Corp stands strong here. Man, Carmine Corp has such a difficult tournament coming up for them. They go from ailing SSG to G2 to General Mates, all 3-2 series according to me. So they're coming here playing Fury, and they've gotta be tired. Right? Fury has had a bit of an easier one. They had to play Power. It's like, okay, like, but that's more manageable. They've had to play they did have to play Falcons. They've had to play OG. Yeah, okay, that's which is a 3-2 series. Okay, Fury has not had an easy run getting here either. Both of these teams have had a difficult run getting here. So, okay, because I take that into account, by the way, when I'm making these lists, these predictions. I take into account like their fatigues throughout the day, especially if it's like I don't know which series is happening which day. I don't know if this series is gonna happen in the first day. Probably not. That's a lot of these to grow through in a single day. This is probably gonna be like second or third day, maybe third day happening, because these are a lot of series to go through. So we're probably not gonna get to this point until like the second or third day. But yeah, that's a lot of difficult series to go through, um, for both of these teams. Um, but I believe in the K Corp dream. I believe in the KC dream. They lost against Gelmate, but I believe in the KC dream. I think they take this 3-1. I think so. I think so. I think Carmine Corp stands strong, and we see them in the playoffs. Hype, hype, hype. Then we have GT versus Vitality. GT is such a consistent team. Vitality's looked shaky. This might sound crazy. I reckon G2 sweeps. I know it sounds crazy. Vitality, reigning world champs, getting swept by GT, but I reckon they do, man. I don't think, man. Vitality got dogged on by Genji in the previous in the EDWC like LAN. They got dogged on, bro. Like they're, oh my god, bro. Ay 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 ay. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. This sounds great, but that's my prediction, man. I'm sorry. This sounds like I'm a Vitality hater, but at least it shows that I'm not just an EU fanboy, right? You might sound like I'm a my Corp fanboy, but I'm really just being honest here. I don't think Vitality's gotta do something to show me. Um, they gotta do something to show me that they got it like that. You know what I mean? Because I don't see them winning in C2. I see them getting swept. I just see them getting swept there, man. And G2 is such a consistent team. I think it's hard to say G2 just doesn't win this year. I think it's tough to say, man. Yeah. Okay. Um, moving on to the 2-2 series. Now this is exciting because this is all about who are going to be seeded, who's going to be seeded in the playoff stage, like who's going to get to the playoff stage and who isn't, right? Um, Vitalis' power. Vitalis has had some rough series getting in here, right? Um, but I reckon they can come strong here. I reckon we this eliminates. I think they reckon this eliminates Oceania from from the tournament. But I'll give them a good series. I'll give them a good series. I think OC goes out strong. Not two series, two games. Just like with SSG, I'll give them a good series against Vitality. They go out strong, right? Oceania can be proud, like, okay, we dented them at least a little bit. We had to make them fight for it. I reckon so. But OC is gone now. South American versus SSG now. Man. No, yeah, Fury versus SSG. Yeah, Fury versus South America versus North America, I should say. Um, man, that's tough. That's tough to call. That could really go either way. Fury versus SSG could go either way, man. It really could. Uh, Yan and LJ, only one of them can make playoffs, you know. That's crazy, bro. And we have Genji and Oxygen. Oh, man, okay. You know what? Fury takes this. I reckon Fury takes this in a close 5 game series. Yeah, yeah, that's my prediction there. I think it's gonna be a close series. I'm not gonna be paying too much attention to my list when the tournament starts because then I feel like I'm gonna be biased in how the game's gonna go. Like, let's say we do get a Carmine Core versus Gelmate. If this happens in the upper bracket like this, then I'm gonna be like, oh man, if this all follows my prediction, Gelmate should win. I'm gonna be thinking too much like that rather than actually enjoying the tournament, enjoying the teams, and enjoying the game playing. So I'm gonna upload this video. These are my predictions, and I'm never gonna watch this prediction video until after the tournament is over. I'll watch this prediction video to see how far off I was. You're probably watching this right now after the tournament's over, after you see who wins, who won it all, and you're watching this prediction video thinking, "Yo, Amin, you are so stupid. You're so far off." But generally, it's such a tough call, especially with Carmine Corp. Such a tough call. So if you've come watching this after Carmine Corp just won RLCS Worlds, there's no way I could predict that. Carmine Corp is such a wild card. Okay, Genji versus Oxygen. Ah, Genji sweeps. That's my final call there. Genji sweeps, and we have our playoff bracket. So, we can see here the rankings. Falcons 3-0, 9 games, 1 loss. But this is accurate. That's the thing. This has been how the Falcons have been performing. Like, this sounds crazy. This might be like they only lose 1 game throughout all series, but this is accurate. Like, this is how the Falcons have looked in the past. Well, I say they've have how they have looked. They've looked really like strong going into these playoffs, right? They lose like maybe 2 games, going into 3 games, and like they just look really really strong, right? Not only losing 1 game is kind of unlikely, maybe, but I reckon Team Falcons is gonna look strong in the Swiss stage this tournament. I reckon so. Um, mm, I'm trying to think. Like, am I happy with this? And then okay, and then we have the 3-1 teams. So the ones who are gonna fight for fourth seed, third, fourth, and fifth seed are G2, BDS, and Carmichael. Holy freaking crap! Uh, G2 man. Okay. Oh, you can also see their game differential here. Okay. This is according to my list. This is according to my prediction. So the top 8 are Falcons, Gentlemates, G2, BTS, Karma, and Corp, Vitality, Genji, and Furia. That's pretty accurate. The only other team that I could see making this is SSG, maybe Power, if they pull off like a crazy run, and maybe Oxygen, maybe. But if it's not Furia, it's SSG. I don't see any other top 8 happening. These are, in my opinion, the top 8, top 9. I should make a cutoff point here. Top 9 best teams in the world right now. Make a cutoff point. I don't think Power and the rest stand on the level of these players. So, yeah, this is a. I gave Limitless a poor result here, 1-9. But yeah, all right. First seed is Falcons, second seed is Gentlemates, third seed is G2, fourth seed is BDS with a 9-6 ratio. Carmine Corp is fifth seed. Why is Carmine Corp fifth seed? Oh, right. Because even though they have the same game differential, I guess because Carmine Corp has won more games overall, they're giving Carmine Corp a bit below. No, wait. Because they've lost more games overall, I guess. They giving Carmine Corp below BDS seeding wise, or is it because Carmine Corp lost against BDS? Did Carmine Corp lose against BDS? No, they only lost against Gelmates getting up here. Okay, interesting. Then Vitality 3-2. Yeah, I'm not fully too sure how this works, but don't worry, Carmine Corp and BDS are gonna fight for this spot anyway, as we'll get to soon. You'll see how that's gonna go. Vitality 11-10. Yeah, I think this is accurate for Vitality. Based on their performances so far, I think them getting 6 here is accurate. I'm sorry to say. Genji could end up higher. They could end up performing better in the Swiss stage. Same with Fear, they could end up performing better. But Fear going 11-11 plus on 0. SSG unfortunately not making it to the Swiss stage. That is actually kind of unlikely for SSG, isn't it? They've made Swiss stage every single time so far, haven't they? So I might be underrating them here. Well, actually, no, they didn't make it in the first major, did they? They didn't make it to the Swiss stage in the first major. They made it in the second major, not the first major. Either way, even if they do make it to the Swiss to the playoff stage, they always lose in the quarterfinals anyway, or in the first series anyway. But I believe in the first major, I remember I don't remember what like happened with the fifth major that much. I'll be honest. I'll be honest, man. How did it go with SSG in that first major? Well, okay. They may not have been part of that first major. I don't quite remember. Um, but yeah, SSG has consistently made it. But I think this time around, unfortunately, Furia cuts us through. I think they win 3-2 in that series. So now we have our bracket stage ready and prepared. So how do we get to it? I think I have to click down, right? I think I'm supposed to do this or something. Yeah. So our bracket stage is ready. So this might be confusing to you all. What the heck is going on? Why are there teams here, teams there, teams there? What's going on? Okay. So Falcons and Gelmates, they are number the number one and number two seeds coming into this. You go back to the Swiss stage rankings here. Falcons is the number one seed because they have the best game differential out of Gelmates, out of the two teams that have won all three of their series. So Falcons and Gelmates have won all of their games, and Falcons is the number one seed, and Gelmates is the number two seed. So that's what's going on here. So they've been put into the upper quarterfinals bracket, right? And Falcons then gets to face the fourth and fifth seed winner because they're the first seed, so that's why they're facing a better seed than Gelmates, who are gonna have to face the third seed, who in theory should be better than the fourth, fifth seed here in this case, right? So that's how that's gonna go. And then here we have the Swiss tiebreakers. Now, what does that mean? G2 and BDS, if you go to the Swiss stage, they're the third and fourth seed. So what they're gonna be doing, because they never actually faced each other in the Swiss stage. But that's not why they're doing this. Even if they had faced each other in the Swiss stage and G2 won against BDS or something like that, they still would need to go through this because they're the third and fourth seed, meaning that they both have a 3-1 game here, record here. Right? So they're facing off to see who's going to be the third seed. And what does getting the third seed mean to you? It means you get to be in the upper quarterfinals. What does being in the upper quarterfinals mean? It means that you get to lose 2 series before you get eliminated, at least in the quarterfinals. Because in the semifinals, if you get eliminated anyway. So let's say the Falcons wins this. What's going to happen is that they end up here. Yeah, yeah, if Falcons wins this series, they end up here. And if they lose this series, they are determined. But at that point, they're in the semifinals. If they lose this series, they end up here. And if they lose that series, they're eliminated off the tournament. Does that make sense? So G2 and BDS basically fight to see who's going to be the third seed to play against Genomates, right? Who are the second highest seed team. And then the loser of G2 and BDS then have to go play Carmine Corp to decide who's going to be the fourth seed, who's going to win the fourth seed to get into to play against Falcons, right? And then the fifth seed, the loser this, then has to play in the lower round one against Furia. Does that make sense? So let's say G2 wins this, and then they play Carmine Corp and they win that as well. They end up here. No, they end up what am I saying? That doesn't make sense. If G2 wins this, they're gonna end up playing against Stalemates in the upper quarterfinals. And then BDS is gonna have to play Carmine Corp. Let's say BDS wins that. BDS then have to play Falcons. Right? And if you go to the lower bracket, because Carmine Corp won that, they're not gonna have to play Furia. And then the tournament proceeds. The winner of the upper quarterfinals end up in the semifinals. The loser ends up in the lower quarterfinals. Who, if they then win, they end up in the semifinals. That's how this format works. It might sound confusing. You're gonna see it in practice when we actually rank these teams. How they're gonna go true. Which team is gonna go where. I think this format is incredible. As it might sound confusing, especially if you're not used to tournament brackets and formats before, but it's a great format. It's a genius format. I think it works. Genius format. It's a great format. It works really really well. I think it definitely makes it very fair. This is the fairest way you can do this, so that the third seeds at the 3-1 series seeds actually get to fight it off against each other. Same thing 4th and 50. They actually get to fight off against each other to end up in the upper quarterfinals, which then gives you 2 lives basically to before getting eliminated. I think this is so fair. I think this is one of the best Rocket League international brackets I've ever seen. This is how it should be done. I love this. I love this bracket so much. So keep it up. Whoever did made this format, I love you. You keep it up. Please keep making formats for Rocket League. Don't let anyone take your job away from you, because this is great. Okay, so let's start off with the third seed. Oh man, what a series! G2 versus BDS. We for real starting off with that? Now, okay. G2, I think we can't look at their Esports World Cup results because um, they did have a they did have a sub playing for them. They did not have Beast Mode, who is arguably their best player. So we can't really look at that if you ask me. Otherwise, G2 is a team that consistently has made it to the grand finals. And BDS just won a grand finals. So this is like two teams that both could win the entire thing, if you ask me. But I think it's gonna be a very close series, man. I think it's gonna be a close series. But I think G2 takes it 3-2. I think G2 takes it and goes on to play the general mates. Hey, for all of you saying, you biased. Look at that. Look at that right there. I literally gave G2 that win over BDS, who just won a LAN, by the way. So yeah, it's gonna be a close series. I think it's gonna be game 5 series. I think it's gonna be hype. So many fantastic matchups. This RLCS is gonna be so hype, bro. I'm so excited. The 4th and 5th seed match at VDS and Carmine Corp. Man, it's impossible to predict Carmine Corp. It's actually impossible. You know what? BDS, they're gonna come in after just losing to G2 in game 5, like tired, like oh my god, I can't believe you lost that. And I reckon they lose this against Carmine Corp. I reckon Carmine Corp's got this, bro. I have faith. I have faith in the Carmine Corp revival. This team is S class, bro. Their players are S class. Like they have potential to win it all, bro. This sounds like I'm disrespecting BDS, and they did just friggin' they did just win a LAN, and I'm sending them to the lower round 1 bracket. But man, it's tough, but that's what I'm going with. All right. I think Carmine. I believe in the Carmine Corp revival, man. And so now we have. No, we don't have our top 6 just yet. We have our top 8 still, but we haven't gotten our top 6 yet. Our top 6 will be. We'll get them as soon as DC is finished. So we have BDS and Furia. I reckon confident win for BDS, man. They just want to land. I cannot give this to Furia, right? I'm sorry, Furia. This is where you get eliminated. BDS just want to land. It is what it is. But you made it to the playoffs in a very stacked tournament. This is where the South American dream ends, and now it's just NA and EU, except for Falcons. But okay, Vitality Gen.G. Oh man, Gen.G clapped Vitality in the recent LAN. Gen.G clapped them 4-0 sweep. I reckon Vitality. I'll give them 1 game. I'll give them 1 game, but I reckon it's a disappointing exit for them. I cannot not look at that score result. Or maybe what I could do now, but then what I could do is be like, Vital's been revising since then. Zen has been like really. They've all been analyzing. Zen's gonna crack and pop off. They've been analyzing their loss, and now they got it. Now they can come back against Gen.G. However, I don't know, man. Appjack has said that that he's feeling really confident. Appjack is a player in Gen.G. For, and if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know if you're watching this, but just in case, Appjack has been saying that he's very confident playing against Vitality. He says that he's really confident. He thinks he's gonna win, and I don't know, man. Gen.G has got their number on Vitality. I think they're gonna smash them. I think four. Wait, is this a best? It's a best of 7. Sorry, I should give BDS 4 games. There we go. My bad, BDS. You want me to take a game with you. I reckon BDS takes that. And that's my top 6. Gen.G, BDS, G2, Gelmates, Common Corp, and Falcons. I think those are the top six best teams in the world right now, really. If you think about it, let's see. We have one, two, three EU teams, two NA teams, and a Middle Eastern team. Yeah, I think those are the current top six players in the world. I think Furia is in the conversation. I think Vatan is in the conversation. I think SSG is in the conversation. But I'm not confident in those guys as much as I'm confident in BDS, at least. Genji Vitality, I don't know, man. That could go either way. But Genji do have the record. I don't remember if they ever played each other on or yeah, if they ever played each other on in the London major. They probably did, but I don't remember it. I'll be honest. If they have, so yeah. Mm, but they typically have a close series from what I remember. Like, but I think Genji has their number on them. It could go either way, but I want to give it to Genji. I yeah, that's what I think. Oh, actually, I have the stats right here. Let's see. RLC, this is the RLCS London major. They did play each other in the Swiss stage. This is the playoff stage, though. They played each other in the Swiss stage, and Vitality won that actually in a Game 5 series. So it wasn't an easy victory for Vitality. It was not an easy victory. Game 5 series is that's not an easy victory, man. But I reckon they got it again. Yeah, but no, I mean, I reckon they because they lost in EWC, and a lot of people don't actually count Esports World Cup as that much because RLCS is a more important tournament. True, but I don't know. I reckon Genji's got their number on Vitality. I reckon Vitality goes goes a might be a little bit disappointing, and the reigning world champions going out with not even making top six is kind of crazy. But that's how I predict that. Upper quarterfinals, we have Falcons and Carmine Corp. No freaking way, man. Oh, that's actually crazy. No, that's actually crazy, bro. I have to predict this. Have they played each other all in Swiss Station? No, they haven't. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is the first time Falcons and Carmine Corp face each other this entire tournament. Ah, man. This is a tough call. I reckon, you know what? Falcons 3-1 victory. I have faith. I have faith in the Middle Eastern boys. I just said I have faith in Carmine Corp being amazing. But I think Carmine Corp, I think Falcons got it. I think they got that one. I think Falcons just look good until the finals. They just look so good. I think gonna be dominant. I think Carmine Corp gets one game, but I think Falcons goes to the semifinals. Gentlemen's in G2, that's a series of a lifetime, bro. That's a freaking series of a lifetime. Now, didn't I give it to Gentlemen's in the Swiss stage? They played for the Swiss stage, didn't they? And I gave it to Gentlemen's? They did not. No, Gentlemen's and Carmine Corp played in the Swiss stage. Ah, and G2 and Carmine Corp in the Swiss stage. And I gave Carmine Corp over G2 and Gentlemen's over Carmine Corp. Oh, man. So based on those results, Gentlemen's should win against G2, right? That's based on those results. And Gentlemen's always look good in LAN. This is a Game 5 series either way. I'm not giving this anything other than a Game 5 series, right? I don't think there's going to be a crazy win either side. Gentlemen's G2, man. Gentlemen's looked poor in EWC. They did not look that good. That is something that has to be taken into account. They did not make playoffs. G2 playing with a sub made playoffs. With a sub made playoffs and beat the team that that took Gelmits out of playoffs. I think that is something worth factoring into this, going into this. But Gelmates is like a world class team, man. You cannot take it. Itachi, what a great player, man. think G2 takes it. I think G2 takes it just purely off of the poor result of Gentleman in the previous land. That's really all I'm basing off of. I think that's a G2 Gentleman series is impossible to call. It is truly impossible to call, bro. But that's how I'm gonna go about it. That's how I'm gonna go about it. Um, yeah. Um, that's what I think is gonna happen. Just basically. Okay. Next we have um, next we have Carmine Corp and BDS. Ha ha ha! That's tougher, impossible one to predict, basically. In the lower quarterfinals, who could believe that? Carmine Corp BDS, both teams that could actually just go ahead and win the line. Who could believe that one of them has to be eliminated in the quarterfinals right here, right now? That's crazy. Um, wait, I just realized I gave them. I did not rank these based on best of 7. I just blanked out on that. Okay, I'll give Gelmates 4-3, and I give Falcons 4-1 really? Yeah, yeah. I think Falcons look dominant. Sure, Falcons 4-1 Carmine Corp, and Gelmates G2 has to be a Game 7 series, right? It has to be. All right. Sorry, best of 7. Carmine Corp BDS. I know BDS just want to land, but truly, man, truly, I believe in the KC, bro. For having the KC, I can't type anymore. What the frick? 4-3 or 2-3. Yeah, BDS goes out in close fashion because they just. I know they just want to land, but I believe in the Carmine Corp. I believe in the Carmine Corp semifinal. Let's go. This is gonna be such a stacked tournament. Just seeing the potential matchups. If you get any of these matchups, Jellybees G2, Carmichael Falcons, Carmichael BDS, BDS Fury is gonna be a great series. Jellybees Genji, whoo! I think Jellybees typically. I've got Genji's number. Genji's nuts. Let me call you. Kiss you through the phone. That joke took too long to say. Yeah, let me call you Genji. That's also a difficult one to predict. Mm, Genji's such a great team, but now they're losing this. They're losing this. It's more of a question of how. I reckon they're losing this in dominant fashion too. I know Gentleman's just lost against G2, but they come back strong big time against Genji. I think Genji takes one game, but I think it's over. This is how the tournament ends. And top 6 is a solid finish. You take that. You take that if you're Gentleman's. The semi-finals. GT Carmichael Falcons Gentlemen. Actually, if I think about it, other than Carmine Corp, those are my top 4 teams in the world. I say other than Carmine Corp. G2 Falcons Gentlemen right now are my top 3 teams in the world. They are. Like, Carmine Corp is such a wild card. They could be up there, they could not be up there. They could be part of the top 4 or they could not be. BDS, yes, they won EWC, but they've been inconsistent some other times in the season. They look inconsistent at times in the Swiss stage. You never know, man. Genji, as I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough call, but I definitely reckon G2, Carmine Corp, and Falcons and Gelmates. G2, Falcons, and Gelmates are the top 3 teams right now. Falcons and Gelmates gave us the best series in the London Major, in my opinion. That was the best series. That was amazing. It went to Game 7, overtime, for Falcons to win it. So you know what? We'll predict this early. Same thing's gonna happen. Falcons 4-3 Gelmates in a very upsetting series. Gelmates just can't get their number down, bro. Why is it with me a number today? What is it? Where did that even come from? I reckon Falcons takes this. I reckon Falcons goes to the finals. And actually, the way I've seeded this tournament so far, Falcons has not lost a single series. I think Falcons is the only team that has not lost a single series so far. Because, yeah, Gentleman's losing against G2 there. And G2's lost previously, haven't they, in the Swiss stage? Yeah, G2 lost against Carmine Corp. So I had G2 losing against Carmine Corp, and now they're facing them again. Oh, baby. Oh, crap. I think G2 looks back on their game against Carmine Corp in the Swiss stage, and I think G2 this time takes it in confident fashion 4-2. Heck yeah, Carmine Corp's tournament is over. We get a repeat of London. That's right. Falcons G2 repeat. I think so. This is my prediction. This will be so hype, bro. G2 Carmine Corp, and now we have G2 and Falcons in the finals. Now this series is my team easy to predict, right? You might think, alright, Falcons, they always choke the grand finals. So G2's just gonna 4-1 them again, right? In the grand finals, just like in London. Easy peasy. Falcons can't take the pressure off our grand finals with a crowd there. Easy peasy. Boo 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 boo. And you know what? Falcons has been on a bit of a streak curse, just losing grand finals over and over. But I do think they're gonna make the grand finals. They just beat Gentleman's 4-3. They have they have not lost a single series this tournament, bro. If you look at their bracket, um, if you look at their bracket, they have not lost a single series so far. Oh wait, this is only for the Swiss stage. But yeah, Falcons 3-0 the bracket. Gentleman's then lose here against G2, but Falcons have completely gone through the entire tournament without losing to a single team. But G2 had their number in the finals. But you know what? I reckon they break the curse. I reckon 4-3, Game 7 overtime. Game 7 overtime. Falcons win. Oh, look at this. Look at this picture. Yeah, look at them coming in like that. I reckon Falcons. I think they do it now. I think I think they break their curse, and I think they do it. So I was gonna talk a little bit about who I think the best teams in the world are, but I think through this bracket right now, I've given you guys my opinion on who I think the best teams in the world are. Now, how accurate is this list actually going to be? That's impossible to tell as of right now, which is why you should tune in to the World Championship starting today. And I'm gonna upload this. I'm gonna upload this on YouTube, right? And then you get to see, in today's matches, how right my predictions are. Watch Limitless win a game right off the bat, and immediately my predictions are wrong. Like one, not a game, not the series, but just one game, and then G2 3 wants them. Watch me immediately be wrong out of that. But I reckon the first three series being 3-0 sweeps is likely. So if you're gonna pay attention today, check if I'm right. Is G2 really sweeping Limitless? Is Gentleman sweeping Pioneers? Is Falcons sweeping Gladiators? Check that out later on today. I'll be catching it later on today. I'm excited. This is how I think the bracket's gonna go. Let me know how you think the bracket's gonna go. Like who you think is gonna make the semifinals. Who you think is gonna take it all. Do you think Carmine Corp's gonna do it? The team that hasn't been playing for 5 months, but they've been looking good in scrims. Do you think BDS, off the high of winning EWC, takes it all, beats Carmine Corp, beats G2, beats Falcons? Or do you think Gentlemen, with all this looks so dominant this entire season, do you think they're gonna do it? Or who knows, a surprise run from Genji and Furia coming in, or heck, Vitality, the previous world champions, maybe they start popping off. Any of these teams could do it. But I have most faith in either Falcons, Gentlemen, and G2 in taking it. If I had to give it to one team, Falcons, G2, or Gentlemen. And I really hope the grand final is a 4-3. I root for Falcons. I've rooted for Falcons for a while now. I think I think they're a great team. I think it would be nice to see a non-EU, non-NA world champions, RLCS world champions winners. This will be the first time a non-EU or a non-NA team win the world championship, which will be super super hype. This is the biggest tournament of Rocket League for this year. So if you're not watching this, you're doing something wrong. If you have any interest in seeing the top teams, the top players from the world duke it out in this championship, tune in later today in a couple of hours. You know what? We'll schedule this so it's uploaded 6 hours. In 6 hours, if you're watching this video the second it's being uploaded, 6 hours from when this video is uploaded, the championship begins. Go check it out. Let me know if I'm right. Let me know how much of this Swiss stage bracket is correct, right? Am I accurate in these sweep and 3-2 predictions and stuff? How accurate am I? And then after Sunday, come back to this video. I'll probably come back to this video after Sunday as well to see how stupid I was, how wrong I was about all this, right? But that's what makes it exciting. Going back to my predictions and seeing, wow, like, damn, that's how it went. Or maybe I'm exactly right. Maybe got everything exactly right. And the chances of that happening are extremely low, right? Like, the statistics do not favor me there. But, yeah, sorry, that was the sound of my PlayStation there. Don't mind the console sound. Um, yeah, those are my predictions. Hope you enjoy this. I hope you enjoy my discussions. Um, that's my take based off what I've been seeing of Rock League professional scene the last year plus. Uh, seeing Vitality not perform as well as they used to, and seeing Falcons just and Gelmates just pop off. You know what I mean? Carmine Corp to me is the biggest wild card. That's the Joker of the of the land. They could come in and win. They could not even make the playoffs. You don't know. But what I do know is they have been known as one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world. You don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen there, man. They could come in absolutely swinging. So yeah, I'm gonna end this off here. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do these predictions, at least as much as I enjoyed doing these predictions myself. I thought this was fun. Maybe we'll do this next RLCS as well. I'm not gonna do this for any other tournaments, by the way. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this for the next esports World Cup or the next what other lands do they do nowadays. I'm only gonna if I'm gonna be doing this again, it's only going to be specifically for RLCS World Championship. Like not even RLCS majors, RLCS World Championships. I'm not gonna be doing this for the majors. So yeah, just like how I do Crunchyroll review, Crunchyroll Anime Awards review once a year. This is gonna be like a once a year RLCS World Championship prediction. So next year, 2025, around this time of the year, we're probably gonna get another World Championship tournament just like this. I'll make another prediction video then in a year's time. So for now, I hope you enjoyed this as much as enjoying it. And yeah, man, how accurate did I end up being? If you're watching this after Sunday, check out the bracket. How accurate was I? How accurate is this list? How accurate is this Swiss stage? How accurate is this? You know, how accurate is this? Top 16 scoring from me. You know what I mean? And if this is today. Today's the first start. You're watching this video the day this video is uploaded. How accurate are these is this first start of the day, right? Am I accurate with my predictions here? And yeah, and am I accurate with the grand finals and what's gonna happen leading up to that? Do you let me know? Maybe I'm accurate with Falcons taking it all and winning the grand finals. And maybe I'll be wrong about their destination. I don't know. Maybe Falcons don't just win every single season right? Maybe Falcons lose a series getting to the grand finals. I mean, it's very possible for a team to win the grand finals while having lost at least one series, right? Like if Falcons had lost this Carmine Corp series, then they would have gone on to play BDS and go through the lower quarterfinals to then make the grand finals. So that's possible, right? The only difference is we wouldn't have gotten a Falcons G2 final. We would have gotten a Falcons and maybe Gelmace finals. That could have happened, right? We could have gotten a Falcons Yeah, we could have gone a different final, or a Falcons Gen G final. Gen G had won that, and then won against won against Carmine Corp. We could have gone Falcons Carmine Corp finals. We could get any of those finals really. All those finals are possible. Of course, according to my seeding bracket. Like that's the important part. Falcons gonna go home with $300,000. GT goes home with $150,000. So a lot of money to be winning here. You definitely would rather get first place than second place. Third, fourth place gets 99K, 84K. Okay, so decent price jumps here. Yeah. Uh, So yeah, let's see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, for a millionth time, I hope you enjoyed watching this much. I enjoyed doing this. And yeah, I'll see you later today. I'll be checking out the land. I will not be live streaming it or anything like that. I'll be watching on my own time, especially because I need to study while it's happening. There's so many series going on, so many hours to go. I don't have time to be live streaming it. But I'll be doing it while watching it while I study, and yeah, I'll be tuning in. Maybe I'll make a review video after it's over, just reacting to the list that I made or not. I probably won't do that. That's too much of a hassle. But yeah, I'll see you guys later today if you're watching this later today. If you're watching this after the World Championship, I hope you enjoyed the predictions compared to the how the actual LAN went. Now, actually, I don't have any clock here. I don't have any dates here. I mean, I can prove to you guys that I'm making these predictions before the LAN. So if these predictions are exactly right, I cannot prove that I didn't make this after the LAN is over. But trust me, I made this before the LAN. Actually, nah, I know how to prove it. I'll just upload this video before Tuesday. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm uploading this on Tuesday anyway, before the start of the first day of the LAN. I'm uploading this exactly 6 hours before the start of RLCS LAN on Tuesday, the first day. So there you go. That's the proof you need. So yeah, that's my take. Goodbye, y'all. Hope you enjoyed watching this. At least as much as I enjoyed doing this. And like I said, again and again and again. Yeah, peace.